Have you ever brewed a strength potion and wondered why it comes from blaze powder, despite blaze powder being what powers the brewing stand? No? Well, you clicked on this video, so I'm going to be ranking every potion and every suspicious stew by how accurate the recipes are. At the top of S tier, the most accurate recipe in Minecraft is the Decay Suspicious Stew. Yeah, I think this one's pretty self-explanatory. In second place, we have the Lingering Potion. If you fought the dragon before, you'll know that it shoots a fireball that will explode into a cloud of lingering particles, which you can then harvest with a bottle and brew some potions that behave in the same way. Not only does this make a ton of sense, but it's also pretty creative, and kind of makes me wish that this potion was a little more useful. Moving on to A tier, we have Poison. It does the exact same thing as the spider eye, which is to poison whoever consumes it. It's pretty self-explanatory, but the only reason I didn't put this one in S tier is because it's used to breed armadillos and make fermented spider eyes, both of which have absolutely nothing to do with poison. After poison, we have regeneration, and I actually have a story about this one. So initially, I had this one in F tier because I thought regeneration had nothing to do with gas tiers, and I even used this recipe for my thumbnail. But while I was Googling, I remembered that gas tiers were an ingredient in end crystals, and end crystals literally regenerate the dragon. So not only did I promote this one all the way up to A tier, but I also had to completely redo my thumbnail, so that was fun. I considered putting this one in S tier, but I decided against it because while gas tiers have regenerative abilities, gas themselves don't. Up next is oozing, which I think is kind of like the inverse of regeneration because regeneration was very accurate to gas tiers but not accurate to gas, while oozing is not accurate to slime blocks but very accurate to slimes by making any mob with its effect release 2 slimes when killed. I place this one below regeneration because I think it's more important for a potion to be accurate to its item rather than accurate to what the item comes from, if that makes sense. Following oozing, we have wind charging, which makes mobs wind burst upon death. This isn't fully accurate to what breezes or wind charges do, but it still makes a lot of sense. After wind charging is the weaving potion, which makes you one with the cobweb by letting you release cobwebs when killed, and also letting you move more quickly through them, which I'm pretty sure that's the spider's thing, but can't really complain when the potion is made from cobwebs and has everything to do with cobwebs. Moving on to B tier, we have the mundane potion. It doesn't do anything and it has pretty much no correlation with any of the items it's brewed from, but it kind of makes sense to have all of these potion ingredients produce an ineffective potion when brewed with a water bottle instead of an awkward potion. The only gripe I have with this one is that it only includes these potion ingredients. Like, why is golden carrots and pufferfish excluded? After that, we have fire resistance, which comes from magma cream from magma cubes that are resistant to fire. It makes sense, but the main thing that holds this one back is that magma cubes are basically just nether slimes, which isn't an issue on its own, but for some reason you can craft magma cream by adding blaze powder to slime balls, which makes me feel like it should be blaze powder that makes fire resistance. But that makes a completely new problem, which is that blaze powder is also the fuel for brewing stands, so I don't really know. Following fire resistance, we have slow falling. Phantom membranes come from phantoms which fly and can also repair elytras, which can help you fly. Now, the elytra doesn't make you fall slower, but it does something pretty similar, so it makes sense. You know what falls slower though? Chickens. So why don't we just use the feathers to brew slow falling potions? Hell, even the slow falling icon is literally feathers. The only argument against it that I can think of is that feathers would be too common, which would make slow falling potions too easy to get. But you'd still have to go to the nether to brew them, so like, why not? Up next, we have Turtle Master in 11th place and Water Breathing in 12th place. Turtles move slowly, and the turtle shell being an armor piece is a great way of incorporating resistance into the potion. As for water breathing, pufferfish is an underwater mob, so it's pretty self-explanatory. The reason I rank these ones together is that they both share the same issue. When you wear the turtle shell, it gives you water breathing, so you'd expect this one to make a water breathing potion, but it doesn't. The effect is kind of just not there when you brew the potion. And the water breathing has a slightly worse version of this, where the pufferfish gives you three effects that aren't present in the final potion. I thought we were taught with like spider eyes and wither roses that their effects would carry over to the respective potions, but apparently that just doesn't apply here. After water breathing, we have the splash potion. I originally had this one way lower, but then I kind of realized everything to do with gunpowder, TNT, creepers, gas, fireworks, and fire charges, they all have an area of effect. So it makes sense that gunpowder would give potions an area of effect. One small issue with this is that most of the area of effects from gunpowder are explosive, in which they break blocks. But thankfully, the area of effect from fireworks isn't explosive, so it's not that big of a deal. Moving on to C tier, we have Infestation, and I'd like to point out that the stone being with the recipe kind of contradicts what I said about the feathers, because stone is even more common than feathers. But that's not important. What is important is that this potion makes mobs release silverfish when you attack them sometimes. But that's what infested stone does, not stone, so like, why didn't they just use infested stone for the recipe? Actually, I think the better question here is why isn't infested stone obtainable in survival Minecraft? Like when I try to silk touch it, it just comes back as regular stone. Like what happened to the silverfish? Following infestation is healing. I think the thought process behind making it from a glistening melon is that golden apples are covered in gold and they heal you. So glistening melons should too, but all at the same time, glistening melons are made with nuggets like golden carrots, and golden carrots just give you more saturation. So I think it would have made more sense to go with golden apples here, but at the same time, golden apples would definitely be too expensive, so I see the vision. After healing, we have leaping. The first issue I have with this one is that rabbits don't even jump high. But they are hopping a lot, and it's their foot, and they seem to be hopping with their ankles, so it makes enough sense. Now we're at D tier, and this is where I have to really start reaching to find any sort of similarities between potions and their ingredients. Starting with swiftness. The only similarities I was able to find between it and sugar is that sugar is involved in making cookies and cake, which both fill up your hunger bar, and a filled hunger bar means you can sprint. And I guess sugar also gives you energy in real life to do things like sprinting. After swiftness, we have slowness. Using a fermented spider eye to corrupt a swiftness or leaping potion into a slowness potion kind of makes sense, and I don't hate the idea. But you'll see very soon why I place these so low. Following slowness is harming. It's basically the same, but now it's corrupting poison, which is another negative effect. I think regeneration would have made more sense here, but corrupting poison into harming still makes sense. After harming, we have poison, suspicious stew, and night vision. These have absolutely no correlation to their ingredients, but the only reason I didn't put them in F tier is because Lily of the Valley are actually extremely poisonous in real life, and golden carrots are good for your eyes in real life. We've reached the F tier. These are the potions with absolutely zero correlation to their recipes. Starting with the awkward potion. Now, I debated putting this one in D tier because it's made from nether wart, and nether wart makes an awkward potion, but I realized that was kind of stupid. After the awkward potion, we have invisibility. How does corrupting a night vision potion into invisibility make any sense? They aren't even closely related. These fermented spider eye recipes are all over the place, and it's only going to get worse. Following invisibility is all of the other suspicious stews. None of them are even slightly accurate to the recipes, and the only one I think that could have been accurate would be like the open eye blossom making night vision because it opens up during nighttime, but for some reason that one makes blindness. This is pretty much rock bottom, and we're about to go deeper. Remember when I said it would get worse? Well, here we are. We got strength and weakness. Let's start with weakness. So, why on God's green earth would this not corrupt a strength potion into a weakness potion? Like, why water bottle? Like, it doesn't even do anything. Like, what effect is there to corrupt? So we went from corrupting positive effects into negative ones, then correcting negative effects into negative ones, then corrupting positive effects into other positive ones that have no similarity, to now corrupting no effect? How does that make you know what? Let's just go to strength. Alright, so why would they make the ingredient the same thing that fuels the brewing stand? Did they pull this out of their ass? Like, Mojang, are you dumb? What was the thought process behind this? Wait a minute. With how inaccurate some of these recent recipes have been, brewing would have to be insanely advanced to turn those ingredients into a potion that's completely different. If it's this advanced, then it needs a strong and powerful fuel source. Blazes deal damage. Blaze rods are a great furnace fuel source. They can combine with popped chorus fruit to make a powerful lighting source. And they can even combine with ender pearls to locate the stronghold. Blaze powder definitely has the strength to power one of these things. And if that's the case, then maybe its strength can be repurposed into an ingredient to make the strength potion. It all makes sense now. And since blaze powder is the fuel source, that means it's involved in every single recipe. That could mean the fermented spider eye isn't corrupting the water. It's corrupting the blaze powder that fuels it. Blaze powder is so strong that it gets corrupted by the fermented spider eye to make a weakness potion. Oh my god! It all makes sense now. Mojang, I am so sorry. I should have known better. I just didn't catch your drift. I'll do better next time, I promise. Now that I know the truth about the strength and weakness potions, I have to give them the ranking they deserve. Wait, does that mean I'm gonna have to redo my thumbnail again? Yeah, forget it. They're staying in F tier. Okay, but in all seriousness, why don't you need an awkward potion to brew weakness? We've reached the final potion. So, not only does this potion's recipe make no sense, but this potion's existence makes no sense. So, the potion with the least accurate recipe in Minecraft is the thick potion. So glowstone is a potion ingredient that when you mix with only a water bottle, it makes an ineffective potion, but for some reason, doesn't make a mundane potion. Like what makes a glowstone different from all of these? Like, it's not because it's an upgrader, because redstone's also an upgrader, because it makes a mundane potion. Like, that doesn't make no sense. Like, glowstone's purpose is to light things up, make it easier to see at night. Wait. If it makes it easier to see at night, wait, why wasn't this used for night vision? It makes a lot more sense than golden carrots that give you saturation. Like, why wasn't it? Like, really, why not? Actually, you know what? It's probably because they're used for, like, spectral arrows, maybe. And spectral arrows give the glowing effect. Wait! Night vision was added way before spectral arrows. My point is still... Anyways, here's the tier list if you were wondering. Thanks for watching, and bye.